Welcome to the session. This is Professor Adana. I am working as an assistant professor at the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. Today I will be taking you through what is break-even analysis. Break-even analysis is the most commonly used economic model in operations management in order for us to understand the behavior of profits and losses in any organization. Here, this particular model is a graphical and an algebraic model which differentiates profits and losses in various scenarios. There are certain assumptions based on which break-even analysis works. First thing is that the first assumption that we have is that all the costs and revenues are known. Every cost related to the situation that we are talking about is already known to us. The second is there is a linear relationship between the costs that are involved and the volume of production in every organization. So this linear relationship is again presented by a line graph on the graphical scale. All the output that we have can be sold. This is an assumption. It is not a real case scenario, which means to say that production is always 100% and sales is also 100%. So before we get into what exactly break-even analysis is, there are certain terminologies that we need to understand related to this. Basically, break-even analysis talks about the behavior of profits and losses. So here, if you observe this graph is a graph plotted against the volume and the cost. So the cost of whatever we are producing is plotted on the y-axis and the volume of production is on the x-axis. So based on that, there are various terminologies that are involved in break-even analysis. Here, the first is the fixed cost. The fixed cost, as indicated by this orange line, is a cost that is fixed. It does not change with respect to the volume. Whatever be the volume or whatever be the output, the cost remains the same. It is a stagnant parallel line to the x-axis. So here, this fixed cost can be the value of the land, because no matter what product you are manufacturing in the industry, the land value remains the same. It does not change. The electricity bill, the tariffs that are set for the various bills in the organization, they remain the same. These are all fixed costs. The next is variable costs. A variable cost is indicated here by this blue line. This, according to the change in volume, this cost will change. So it could be raw material procurement, depending on the number of products that we are going to manufacture. Either we increase the rate or reduce the rate. That depends on the volume of production. The variable cost, it changes with volume. Again, you have another type of cost, which is the total cost. The total cost, if you observe, is placed above the fixed cost because it is a sum of both the fixed cost and the variable cost. So when we put these two together, we get the total cost. The next most important point is the profit. Now, after taking into consideration all the fixed costs, all the variable costs, everything put together, we have what is called as the total sales revenue. The total sales revenue is whatever we have got after selling. The difference between the cost and this revenue is the profit. Whatever be the total cost that we have got, subtracted from the total revenue that we have received, total cost that we have incurred, minus the total revenue which we have got, will give you the profit. Now, there comes a point in the graph where both the profit and the losses meet at a point. Whatever be the amount of losses or the amount of profit, there is a coincidental point. This point is called as the break-even point. The break-even point occurs where the volume of the sales and the revenue are equal. So how much ever I have sold and how much money I have received, they are breaking even in the sense that they are even. I do not have a profit or a loss at this stage. This point is called as the break-even point. And the volume at which this break-even takes place is called the break-even volume. So this is given by an expression wherein we take a ratio of the first cost to the difference of the selling price and the variable costs. If this BEP or the volume at this break-even point is less than the actual, if the volume is less here at the break-even point, we run a loss. If it is more, it is a profit. So this point is the break-even point. The next terminology, I haven't indicated it here, is the margin of safety. The margin of safety is the margin, or rather the area, the volume which I will produce, where I will still run a profit, but I will not run a loss. But the profit that I will gain will depend totally on how the actual output is going to behave. When I take a difference of whatever is the actual output that I'm getting from the organization and subtract it from the break-even point and take this as a ratio to the actual output again, I am going to get what is called as margin of safety. Now, the more or the higher my margin of safety is, the higher will be the profit for the organization. And if it is less, the profit will be lower. Please note that in margin of safety, as the name itself suggests, we do not undergo losses. The next is the angle of incidence, which is theta. The angle of incidence is the difference, or rather the angle between the total variable cost and the total sales revenue that is there in the graph. So this angle of incidence, if it is higher, we get more profit, and if it is lower, you get a lesser profit, as indicated in the diagram. Now moving on to the next topic, or rather the next terminology, it is the profit volume ratio. The profit volume ratio here deals with a term which is called as a contribution. Now what is the contribution? A contribution is the difference between the total sales revenue and the total variable cost, in other words, profit. So the difference between the total sales revenue and the total variable cost is called contribution, or otherwise profit, and the ratio of the profit or the contribution to the total sales revenue gives you a profit volume ratio. Now this is a percentage value, and hence you multiply it by 100. These are the various terminologies that are involved in break-even analysis. What are the advantages of carrying out break-even analysis? The first thing is, the first major advantage of using break-even analysis is that the product selling price can be fixed very easily, because here the graph itself will give you how much of profits, losses, and how much of costs that are incurred. This will be already known to you looking at the graph, so the selling price of the product can be fixed easily. This method is very simple and it is easy to use, hence the advantage of using BEA. The next most important advantage is that it focuses more on profits. So the losses, since they come below the break-even point, after constructing the break-even chart, what we do is, beyond the break-even point, all the costs that are there and the revenues that are there are concentrated on. So we can concentrate more on the revenue, or rather on the profits of the organization. Then this helps to make decision making very easy. How does this happen? Because I already know what kind of profit I'm going to get, how much costs are going to be incurred. I can decide various things on raw material procurement, logistical data, arrangement and alignment of the factory, and designation of jobs to the various people on the factory. This decision making can be done very easily. Then here we have different algebraic and graphical methods which are verifiable in nature, and this is a major advantage of using break-even analysis. Now the limitations of using break-even analysis, what is it? As we said before we began, there were assumptions that were made that all the costs are known to us, there is nothing that we do not know, that all the products that we are producing are going to be sold. All of these are assumptions. They are not true or practical in nature. So in the practical situation, things and these graphs will change. None of these lines will be linear straight lines. There will be certain variations that will be observed. And so these are suitable only when the decisions are to be made for maybe a single factor. So if I have to decide what kind of raw material I need to purchase, I have 4 different alternatives, 4 different costs. I can choose any one factor, labor or raw material or any one factor, and then carry out break-even analysis for that. It cannot be done for multiple factors because these are based on assumptions. Now we shall try to solve a problem using break-even analysis and see how we can analyze what are the costs and the effect of these costs on any of the products in the factory. So we are presented with a problem over here wherein potential locations in 3 different cities have been given to us. The 3 different locations are in A, B, C cities, and these have cost structures that are shown to us in this table. That means to say, if I have a location A, the fixed cost for this particular location is 1,50,000 and the variable cost for this location is ₹75. All of this is on a yearly basis. So when I'm having these kind of cost structures for a product that is going to sell for 130 rupees each. So each piece of the product is going to be selling at 130 rupees. In such a case, what I need to do is, I need to find out what is the best location first. I need to find out the best economic location for an expected output of about 6,000 units per year. So if the volume that I am going to expect at the end of the year is about 6,000 units, I need to find out which is the most economic location, which means to say which is the location wherein I am going to incur the least cost. I also have to find out what is the expected profit if I choose the location that I have found out in the previous question. So once I solve the previous question, I will get an answer as to whether location A, location B or location C is the best location. Now if I choose that location, what is going to be the profit that I am going to get for that location? Also, I need to find out what will be the output range for each of the locations, which means to say that for what output range is location A the best, for what output range is location B the best, and for what output range is location C the best. So these things we need to find out using break-even analysis. So before we move on to chart the break-even analysis, what we are going to do is, we are first going to start with the first question, where we are going to find the best economic location for a volume of 6,000 units per year. So how are we going to carry this out? We have to find out what will be the total cost that we will incur at these locations. So I will find out what is the total cost, fixed cost and variable cost for those number of units at location A, location B, location C, and among these I am going to choose the least. So if I start with finding out the total cost denoted by TC for location A, so we have understood that the total cost is the sum of the fixed cost and the variable cost. In this case, we know that the variable cost has to be multiplied by the number of units, because the fixed cost remains unaffected by the number of units that we are producing, but the variable cost will vary depending on number of units. So the fixed cost for location A here is 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 plus variable cost for location A is 75 rupees. This multiplied by the number of units that is specified, 6,000 units per year, will give us rupees 6 lakhs. So this is the cost that I will incur if I choose location A. If I choose location A, the total cost that I will incur is 6 lakhs. Similarly, if I do the calculation for location B, for location B, the fixed cost given is 2 lakhs. The variable cost is 50. That multiplied by 6,000 units will give me an amount of 5 lakhs. So if I choose location B, I will spend 5 lakhs total cost. And if I am choosing location C, then I am going to have to substitute 4 lakhs plus 25 rupees multiplied by 6,000 units. I will get a sum of 5,55,000 rupees. So this if I choose location C. Among these three locations, we have found that the least cost that we incur is at location B. So we choose location B to be the best location because it has the least total cost for the same number of units being produced. From the previous question, we observed that the best location is location B. So if we choose location B as the location where we are going to set up the factory, we need to find out the expected profit for the selected location. So here we are going to consider this for location B. We need to find out what is the expected profit when we choose location B. How do we find out the profit? The profit we know is the difference between the sales revenue minus the total cost that we have incurred for producing a particular product. What is the sales revenue? It is the selling price multiplied by what is the number of units of the product which we have produced. So in this case, sales revenue denoted by SR is equal to the selling price multiplied by Q. Selling price multiplied by Q. What is the selling price? Rupees 130 multiplied by 6,000. Sales revenue we get after this multiplication process as 7,80,000 rupees. This is the sales revenue that we have purchased. So at location B, the total profit that we will get is the profit at B. The profit at B, denoted as capital P, is equal to sales revenue minus total cost at B. So this is 7,80,000 minus 5 lakhs. Amounting to 2,80,000 rupees. So if I choose to set up the factory at location B for a fixed cost of 2 lakhs and a variable cost of 550 rupees per piece, we will incur a total cost of 5 lakhs and a sales revenue of 7,80,000. So the profit that we will make if we set it up at location B is 2,80,000 rupees at the end of the year. This will be the profit. We need to find out the next thing, which is what is the output range for each location. What is the output range for each location? That means to say, for location A, if I choose location A, for what output range? Or in other words, if I want to have a certain output, what should be the location that I have to choose? Say for example, apart from 6,000 units per year, suppose for example, I want to have only 2,500 or 3,000 units per year. So if I want 3,000 units per year, which of these 3 locations should I choose? If I want 2,000 units per year, which of these 3 locations should I choose? So for that, we need to find out for what range of output is each location suited. If I choose location C, what is the range of the output that I can have? So if I choose location C, maybe I will have 3,000 units or I can have 5,000 units, we do not know. But for what range should I choose this location? For what range should I choose this location? For what range should I choose the second location? So this is found out by what we call as QBEP. QBEP, Q is the volume, and this is the break-even point. We know that the break-even point is the volume at which the company runs neither a loss nor a gain. Beyond the break-even point, towards a higher angle, it is a profit. Below the break-even point, to a lower angle, it is a loss. This we have seen in the break-even point. This we have seen when we were learning about what exactly is break-even analysis. So whatever volume we are setting, you need to start from the break-even point, push towards the profit. We are not worried about the part which incurs in the losses area. So here, to find out QBEP, we need to find QBEP or the break-even point volume for each and every location separately. So What is this formula for QBEP? In general, it is given by the ratio of the fixed cost to the selling price per unit, which we will denote as capital P, minus the variable cost. The ratio of the fixed cost to the difference between the selling price per unit and the variable cost. So this we have to find out for all the three locations. If I start with finding QBEP just for location A, the fixed cost for location A is already given to me, which is 1,50,000. 1,50,000 divided by the selling price per unit is common for all of them, and it is rupees 130. So this will be 130 minus the variable cost for location A, which is 75. Calculate this to be 2727.27 units. I will approximate it to be equal to 2727 units. Okay. Next, we will find QBEP for location B. Here, the fixed cost is 2 lakhs divided by the difference between the selling price and the variable cost of 50. 130 minus 50. This amounts up to 2,500 units exactly. Okay. And thirdly, we calculate QBEP for location C. Here it is 4 lakhs divided by 130 minus 25. This gives us 3,810 units. What is the meaning of these numbers? If I want to manufacture 2,500 units and below, I will choose location B. If I want to manufacture 3,810 units and below, I will use location C. If I want to manufacture 2,700 units and below, I will choose location A. So this is giving us the range for the production, and based on this we will choose whatever feasible location that we want. So now whatever values we have got in the problem, we will confirm them using the break-even analysis chart. So here, like we understood previously, we have two axes. The x-axis will denote the volume and the y-axis denotes the costs incurred, in this case lakh rupees. So here the volume is in units per year. It could be any number of units depending on the industry. So we divide this using a suitable scale. We choose the x-axis to be divided as, I am going to consider 2 units or 2 centimeters to be equal to how many ever units that we are declaring. In this case, we will take it in thousands of units. So 2 centimeters, and the y-axis now divide this suitably. the first thing that we plot here is we demarcate the maximum number of units that we are talking about in the problem. In this case, it is 6,000 units. So at 6,000 units, we are going to find out what is the sales revenue. So we draw a vertical line which is parallel to the y-axis. Why? Because this is the volume that we are talking about at maximum, and we are only going to see the change in the costs for this volume. This is the limit that we have set. So the next thing that we need to plot on this graph is the sales revenue. What is the sales revenue? The amount that we saw as sales revenue from the calculation was almost around 7,80,000 rupees. So we will plot this on the graph correspondingly somewhere around here. This is an approximate value. So when you plot this on the graph sheet, it will give you a more accurate value. So from at this point, this is where the sales revenue line is going to touch this volume. So here, from the origin to join this point on the volume threshold line, you just draw an inclined line. This is the sales revenue line. Please note, this break-even chart that is being drawn, here we are talking about only QBEP. We are talking about products or units that are manufactured beyond the break-even point, because we are not concerned with what happens below the break-even point. So here we have constructed the sales revenue line. The next construction that has to be made is all the costs that we have seen in the problem. So starting from the fixed cost for each location. Fixed cost for location A, which we have observed, is 1,50,000 given in the problem. So here for location A, 1,50,000. We draw a horizontal line because fixed costs are not concerned with changes. So here we are going to draw a horizontal line that is parallel to the x-axis. This is the fixed cost for location A. Then we plot the fixed cost for location B, which is 2 lakhs. At location B, that is the fixed cost at location B, and we draw the fixed cost for location C at 4 lakhs. So this is the fixed cost at location C. After this, we draw or plot whatever the total costs we have incurred at these locations. We know the total cost at location A to be 6 lakhs. So how we are going to draw or plot this is, on this graph, we are observing that there is a threshold volume of 6,000. So the total cost that we are calculating is related to this particular volume, which is 6,000. So for 6,000 units, what is the total cost incurred at location A? We found that to be 6,000. So here we are going to mark a point on the 6,000 volume line. This is the total cost incurred for location A. And this we will denote by an angle line from the top of the fixed cost line to join this total cost. So this is the total cost at location A. At location B, it was seen to be 5 lakhs. So we mark 5 lakhs. And join it from the fixed cost line of location B. Fixed cost line of location B. In a similar manner, we draw for location C, which is 5,55,000. So this, I'll indicate it somewhere here as total cost for location C. Now that we have plotted all of these costs on the graph, the next thing that we need to plot is what is the volume at each of these locations. Now how do we do this? Wherever we have drawn a line that is from 0 to the sales revenue point. Wherever these points have met the sales revenue line, if we drop them onto the x-axis, we will see the volume that is incurred. So if we observe here, starting from location A, here the total cost for location A meets this line here, and if I drop a perpendicular line down to the x-axis from this point, I am going to get somewhere close to around 2,727 units. As we saw in the graph sheet, it will be more precise, so you can choose from there. This is the QBEP at A, and for location B, again we have it somewhere here. And location C, again so all these perpendicular points that we have dropped onto the XY line or the x-axis gives us the location, the quantity or the number of products at each location. So like we have denoted in the previous break-even chart, you will get all the information related to the costs, profits and losses from the break-even chart.